Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. We are creating build your own palette with all the Kryptein Cosmetics palettes that I already own, and I created this beautiful fall color story, at least according to me. I feel like this is such a beautiful palette. I just curated everything together in this palette, and this is the original Burnt Forest palette. And I felt like that this is so appropriate for fall. I cannot wait to tell you all the color stories, do some swatches for you guys, and also create this beautiful eye look that I created using this palette. So if you're ready, let's begin. I basically created this palette mainly using three palettes: the original Burnt Forest palette, the Secret Garden 1 palette, and the Sunset Symphony palette. So let's begin. I am gonna go quad by quad, this quad, this quad, and this quad, because I feel like they melt so well together, but also they can mix and match into whatever you like. I really love it. Not look at the mess that I have on my desk. But let's begin. The first shade, this one, is from the Secret Garden palette, and the shade is called Osmanthus. The next shade is Halo from the Sunset Symphony palette. Then we have this shade, and this is actually from the Alta palette, the smaller 6-pan palette, this one. And this shade was the shade called Hermes. And next we have this shade, which is Soil from the original Burnt Forest palette. So let me swatch everything. I wanted a palette to be obviously more fall appropriate, but also create some beautiful everyday looks, but also some beautiful colorful looks. So that was my inspiration of this palette. Such beautiful shadows. There you go. And that is the first 4 shades. I went with like a mustardy shade, and then a beautiful multi-chrome from a yellow to a green shifting shade. And then I have like a spicy neutral shade, that Hermes from Alta palette, which is like pink, bronzy, green in so many angles. And I definitely wanted like a earthy wood kind of shade, which is like super deep and dark, but also very neutral, so that it can pull more cool tone or neutral or warm tone at the same time. So that's why I use this. Okay, let's move on to the next quad. And the next quad, the first shade, this one, is from the Sunset Symphony palette, and the shade is called Carnival. And then we have this shade Moss, which is from the original Burnt Forest palette. Beautiful green to a pink shifting shade. And then we have this shade, which is from the Secret Garden palette, and the shade is called Peony. And this one is from the original Burnt Forest palette, this green, and this is called Withered Leaf. I wanted a lot of depth as well as mid-tone as well as shifty shades. So that's Carnival. Of course, a fall palette I feel like is incomplete without an orange. Then this beautiful green to a pink shifting shade, Moss. Then we have Peony, which is like a pink to an orange shifting shade. It also has a lot of gold in it. And then we have Withered Leaf, which is that deep, dark, foresty green shade. Really pretty. And there you go. That is the next 4 shades. Really beautiful. Complements together so very well. I really love that. Okay, now let's move on to the last quad for the palette. I love that these palettes are magnetic. That's the favorite thing of mine. I feel like when you get bored without spending any money, if you can revamp your existing palettes and create your new palette, it feels so fresh and you feel so motivated to use an older palette. I really love that. Okay, now let's move on to the last column. The first shade is called Bergine, which is from the Burnt Forest palette. Then we have the shade Wildfire, which is also from the Burnt Forest palette. Then we have this shade, which is the shade Orchid from the Secret Garden 1 palette. And then we have the shade Black Hole from the Burnt Forest palette. I kept a black here, even though that I have these many deeper shades, just so that I don't want like the palette to be restricted to a brown. If I don't want a brown, and if I want to just deepen out any look or smoke out like or create like a smoky eye, I should be able to do that with that black, and that is why I kept that black. Really love that black. Even though it's like deep and dark, it's still so user friendly, and those are the next 4 shades. And that is the entire palette swatched for you guys. I feel this screams fall to me, and I love all the shades that were included in this. I feel like you can definitely create more everyday looks. You can create some easy, effortless looks, but you also can go colorful and deep and dramatic. Now, once you've seen all the swatches in action, I'm going to create this beautiful eye look that I am wearing for today's video. So let's begin. Let's begin with the eye look using my revamped Burnt Forest palette. I feel like this is such a beautiful fall time color story. Let's play with it. I am going to start off with the deepest shade in the palette. And not the deepest, I would say. I would not use black. I'm going to start off with this brown. And I am going to take this in the outer corner. And this is the shade Soil from the Burnt Forest palette. I'm just going to tap it right there in the outer corner. You can see how deep and dark it is. Really, really pretty. I'm going to take that same shade in the outer corner of the lower lash line too. Just right there, okay? And now I am going to take this shade, this red shade, and I'm going to take that as the blending shade of that brown. And I'm also going to take it on the rest of the lower lash line. Don't worry about the blending. I'm just placing it right there. Doing the same thing on the other eye. Now we have the depth from that brown and also that pinky like burgundy shade from the other shade that we used. Now I am going to take this shade Bergine, this one. And this is also from the Burnt Forest palette. Right there. In the inner part of the crease, just right there, okay? It's such a beautiful green shade. I love that shade. And then finally, I am going to dip into that orange. This one. This is from the Sunset Symphony palette. I'm going to blend that orange with the burgundy shade, just so that there is no harsh lines. And also meshes with the green. Just right there. Feels like a fall leaf is on my eyes. So pretty. I'm going to take that same orange shade just to blend everything in the lower lash line too. Okay, now time for shimmers. I am going to start off with this shade. And I'm going to take that right there. Melting it with that burgundy, just right there. You can see the shift, the dimension that this shade is giving. Really, really pretty. Now for the inner portion, I am going to take this shade, and this is from the Alter palette. I'm going to take that in the inner portion of the eyelid and melting it with that pink orange shade. Such a beautiful multi-chrome shade. And this shade can definitely pair more like a neutral shade too. I really love that one. And there you go. That is my final eye look with the new revamped Burnt Forest palette, customized by myself. Now let me show you the final look. And there you go. That's my final look. I really, really love the way how this palette was curated. I feel like there's no question about the quality of Kryptein Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, because I love every eyeshadow palette that they've ever created. But I feel like it's just a matter of color story if it speaks to you or not. And you know how much I love the original Burnt Forest palette too. But I loved creating my own like twist to a fall palette, but that might look like new and refresh. And that's why I created this color story. And I feel like this is such a beautiful fall palette for like medium tan skin tone. I really love it. You guys have to let me know if you love this creation or not. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I do have a code with Kryptein Cosmetics, and my code is Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. It's a non-affiliated code, so I won't earn anything, but it will save you 10%. But that's all for today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.